Okay, so next subtopic which we are going to study is about the evolution of the discipline and its present status. Uh, it is under chapter 1 introduction only of paper 1. ठीक है. So evolution को start करते हुए study about the ancient roots. तो इसमें देखो पहला नाम आता है कौटिल्या's treatise which is known as अर्थशास्त्र. It may be regarded as an ancient textbook on public administration also. It deals mainly with the science of polity, which according to Kautilya is a combination of science of wealth and science of government, under which there comes public administration. The Arthashastra mainly discusses three aspects: the science of under the science of public administration with respect to the principles of public administration, the machinery of the government, and the management of the personnel. Okay, so these aspects were spoken about in Arthashastra, which are related to public administration. अभी यूरोप में if we talk about यूरोप में political thinkers like Plato in 348 BC, then Aristotle in 384 to 322 BC. They describe the style of administration in Greek city states. Okay, पहले ग्रीक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग किंगडम था. सो वहाँ का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, वहाँ का पर्सनल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, मशीनरी, ओके, पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कैसा था, दे हैव स्पोकन अबाउट इट. देन मैकेवली, MACHIAVELLI, in 1513 in his book The Prince mentions about the character and the conduct that are essential for the public servants. Then after the advent of Montesquieu in 1784, that he has presented the distinction between administration and politics. Okay. In the book The Spirit of Laws, he has highlighted that the administrative functions can be guided by the regulations of the state and not necessarily by the laws only. In this book he also spoke about separation of powers amongst the organs of the government. ठीक है. The first systematic studies in public administration was done with respect to civil servants in Prussia in 1700 to 1740. The systematic study of public administration reached its zenith in the year about 1859 when Vivien published his 2 volumes on administrative studies, which are also called as Etudes Administrative. The term public administration crept into European language during the 17th century to distinguish the monarch's administration from the management of private household. The contemporary discipline arose out of the bureaucratization of the nation-state concept, which led to the supreme position of government over the institutions after separation of church and state. ठीक है, तो जैसे चर्च और स्टेट का सेपरेशन हुआ वैसे ही एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का अलग अलग ऑर्गन्स बढ़ते गए एंड दे हैव डेवलप्ड. द टर्म पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन स्टैंड्स for 2 implications. First is it refers to the activity of administering the affairs of the government, like enforcement of law and order, and second is it also refers to the field of study of administration. The public administration as an aspect of governmental activity is as old as the political society. That is, it has been coexisting with the political systems to accomplish the objectives set by the political decision makers. But as a field of systematic study, public administration is much more recent. It is only about 100 years old. However, since as we have talked about ancient times, there are various thinkers which have contributed to the administrative thought and the practice. Example, as we have mentioned, Kautilya's Arthashastra in ancient India, Aristotle's Politics in ancient West, and Machiavelli's The Prince in the medieval West. They contain a significant observations about the organizations and functioning of the government. In 18th century, cameralism in Germany and Austria was concerned with the systematic management of government affairs. The Cameralists showed significant interest in the study of public administration. They undertook systematic research on the topics related to public administration. The objective of their study and research was to train the candidates for civil services. Thus, they stressed upon the descriptive studies of the structures, the principles, and the procedures of public administration and emphasized on the professional training of public officials. George Zinke was the most distinguished scholar of the Cameralist group. Towards the end of the 18th century in USA, the meaning of and the scope of public administration was defined for the first time in Hamilton's The Federalist. Then Charles John Bowdoin, Bounin, Principles. He wrote Principles de Administration Publique, Publique, in 1812 in French, and it is considered as the first separate treatise on the subject of public administration. ठीक है, ये कौन सा है? Principles de Administration Publique by Charles Jean Bounin in 1812. However, public administration as a separate subject of study originated and developed in USA. According to Rumki Basu, the following factors have contributed to this in the 20th century. First is the scientific management movement advocated by F.W. Taylor. Then in the 19th century, industrialization, which gave rise to large-scale organizations. Then the emergence of the concept of welfare state, replacing the police state. The movement for governmental reforms due to negative consequences of spoil system. So these were all the four factors which led to the 20th century development. Now we are going to talk about the stages in the evolution. अभी यहाँ पे there are various classifications. कुछ निकोलस हेनरी ने दिए, कुछ रॉबर्ट गोलेम्बेविस्की ने दिए हैं. So and some, or we will also do a standard detailed chart of evolution. उसमें 6 phases हो गए. तो जो निकोलस हेनरी है, he had described 5 paradigms in the intellectual development of public administration in the following manner. So इसमें क्या है? पैराडाइम 1, इसमें क्या आता है? द पॉलिटिक्स और एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन politics and administration dichotomy from 1990 to 1926. Then paradigm 2, the principles of administration development in 1927 to 1937. The paradigm 3, the public administration as a political science from 1950 to 1970. Then paradigm 4, public administration as administrative science of management in 1956 to 1970. Then paradigm 5, public administration as a subject itself. Then 1970 से वो कैसा ग्रो हुआ वैसा. Then Robert T. Golembevsky had noted the 4 phases in the historical development of public administration. इसमें he noted phase 1 where he analyzes politics and administration dichotomy. Then he phase 2 में concrete politics और administration, phase 3 में science of management, and phase 4 में public policy approach था. So according to him, each phase may be distinguished under and understood in the terms of locus and focus. Locus refers to directly to where, to the contexts that are conceived to yield the under the phenomenon of public administration, and focus refers to the analytical targets of public administration, the what with which the specialists are concerned. The locus is where and focus is what of public administration. Now we'll study in detail about the various stages in the evolution of discipline of public administration. ठीक है, तो स्टेज 1 में आता है पॉलिटिक्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन डायकॉटमी. ये एरा था ऑफ 1887 to 1926. 1887 to 1926. Okay, so this is the beginning of evolution of public administration as a discipline. The basic theme during this stage was the advocacy for separation of politics from administration, popularly known as politics administration dichotomy. The stage began with the publication of Woodrow Wilson's essay on the study of administration in the Political Science Quarterly in 1887. The essay laid down the foundation for separate, independent and systematic study in the public administration. Hence, Wilson is regarded as the father of public administration. Wilson separated administration from politics. He argued that politics is concerned with policy making while administration is concerned with the implementation of policy decisions. In his words, that the administration lies outside the he has said that the administration lies outside the proper sphere of politics, and administrative questions are not political questions. Although politics sets the tasks for administration, it should not be suffered to manipulate its offices. Wilson describes the public administration as a field of business. He observed that the field of administration is a field of business. It is removed from the study of hurry and strife of politics. ठीक है. Wilson believed that administration is a science. His basic argument was that it is getting to be harder to run a constitution than to frame one. Hence, there should be a science of administration which shall seek to straighten the paths of government to make it easier, to make the business more businesslike, to strengthen and purify the organization, and to crown its duties with dutifulness for administration. The Wilsonian line of thought was further continued by Frank Goodnow in his book Politics and Administration, published in 1900. He made sharp conceptual distinction between the two functions of the government, the politics and administration. To quote Goodnow, he said that politics has to do with the policies or expressions of the state's will, whereas administration has to do with the execution of these policies. So he supported separation of powers. Like Wilson, Goodnow also argued for the promotion of public administration as an independent and separate discipline. He came to be regarded as the father of American public administration. In the beginning of 20th century, the American universities showed much interest in the public service movement, which is the movement for governmental reforms. The American Political Science Association in 1914 report stated that there is a need to train specialists for governmental positions which can be which are at the core positions of administration. In 1926, L.D. White's book Introduction to Study of Public Administration was published. It was the first textbook on public administration. With its publication, the subject picked up an academic legitimacy. That is, the American universities began to offer courses of institution in the institution for instruction and studying and training and research for public administration. ठीक है. सो L.D. वाइट का बुक जो है 1926 में आया हुआ, इंट्रोडक्शन टू स्टडी ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, gave the academic legitimacy to the subject of public administration. Then we are going to talk about second phase. Okay, ये stage 1 था politics administration dichotomy 1887 to 1926, and the second stage is principles of administration. इसमें क्या है, there is search for universal principles. This stage is from 1927 to 1937. ठीक है. So in the second stage of evolution, it is marked by the tendency to evolve as a value-free science of management. In this period, the focus was almost wholly on the efficiency, and the public administration has its central theme, which are mostly the post-corp principles. Separate studies of public administration and private business administration tended to merge into a single science of organization, whose theories and concepts were to be equally applicable to both private and public administration. The general belief in this stage was that there are certain principles of administration, and it is the task of the scholars to highlight them and promote their application in all the types of organizations. ठीक है. During this stage, the scholars believed that there are certain principles of administration which could be discovered and applied to increase the efficiency and the economy of public administration. They argued that the administration is administration irrespective of its nature and context of work, because the principles of administration have universal validity and relevancy. Hence, they claim that the public administration is a science. Okay, and वो लोग ने ऐसा क्लेम किया कि साइंस तो है, बट साइंस है तो साइंस के हिसाब से हर जगह पर सेम साइंस लगना चाहिए, ऐसा उनका मानना था। ठीक है। The stage began with the publication of W.F. Willoughby's Principle of Public Administration in 1927. ठीक है। So WFWILLOUGHBY's Principles of Public Administration in 1927. He asserted that in administration there are certain fundamental principles of general application analogous to those characterizing any science. Okay, so general principles है, ऐसा विलोबी ने बोला था। The other important publication of this stage reflecting the principles approach to administration are Henry Fayol's Industrial and General Management in 1916, M.P. Foley's Creative Experience in 1924, Mooney and Riley उनका बुक Onward Industry in 1931, Gulick and Urwick's paper on Science of Administration in 1937, Mooney and Riley's book on Principles of Organization in 1939. ठीक है। The stage in the evolution of public administration reached its zenith under appearance of Gulick and Urwick's paper on Science of Administration in 1937. Gulick and Urwick stated that it is the general thesis of this paper that there are principles which can be arrived at from the study of human organization which should govern the arrangements for human association of any kind of organization. These principles can be studied as a technical question irrespective of their purpose of the enterprise. The personnel comprising it or any constitutional or political or social theory underlying it developed on the basic principles or universal principles, and they can apply to any type of organization. Abhi we'll talk about stage 3, which is era of challenge. मतलब कौन सा चैलेंज? ह्यूमनिस्टिक चैलेंज। इन 1938 to 1947 ये era था। The main stage 3, the main theme of during this stage was the advocacy of human relations, behavioral approach to the study of public administration. Both the defining pillars of public administration were challenged. It was argued that administration cannot be separated from politics because of its political nature and political role. Administration is not only concerned with the implementation of political policy decisions but also plays an important role in the policy formulation, which is the domain of politics. In other words, the idea of politics administration dichotomy was rejected or challenged. ठीक है, because क्या बोल रहे थे ये लोग कि अभी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का काम तो पॉलिसी फॉर्मुलेशन में भी है, विच इज़ अ पार्ट ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स. सो फिर पॉलिटिक्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन डाइकोटोमी को चैलेंज दिया था ये लोग ने. Similarly, the principles of administration were challenged and criticized on the ground of lack of scientific validity and universal relevancy in this stage. Hence, they were dubbed as proverbs and naturalistic fallacies. मतलब वो सिर्फ proverbs है, मतलब क्या बोलते हैं कि बड़ी बड़ी बातें हैं कि ऐसा होगा वैसा होगा, बट वैसा नहीं होता. रियलिटी में पॉलिटिक्स एंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में डाइकोटमी नहीं है, एक साथ थोड़ा वो लोग का इंटरेक्शन होता ही रहता है. Moreover, the principal's approach to the organizational analysis was criticized as a mechanistic approach due to its emphasis on the formal structure of the organization and neglect of socio-psychological aspects of the organizational behavior of the employees. The Hawthorne HAWTHORNE studies of 1924 to 1932 conducted under the leadership of Elton Mayo shook the foundations of the principal's approach to the organizational analysis by demonstrating the role of informal organizations in determining the organizational efficiency. ठीक है, मतलब जो एक्सपेरिमेंट हुआ था उसमें रोल ऑफ इनफॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस कितना अफेक्ट करता है फॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे, वो दिस हैड shook the principles approach. हाँ, तो ये एक्सपेरिमेंट बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट था. These studies have given rise to human relations theory of organization. The important publications at this stage which challenged the classical public administration, मतलब जो एकदम पोस्ट कॉप टाइप व्यू है उसको चैलेंज किया था. इसमें आता है C.I. बर्नार्ड का द फंक्शंस ऑफ द एग्जीक्यूटिव इन 1938. फिर F. मोरस्टीन मार्क्स का एलिमेंट्स ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इन 1946. फिर हर्बर्ट साइमन का द प्रोवर्ब्स ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इन 1946. फिर हर्बर्ट साइमन का अगेन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बिहेवियर इन 1947. फिर रॉबर्ट डहाल का द साइंस ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन 3 प्रॉब्लम्स इन 1947. फिर ड्वाइट वॉल्डो का द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्टेट इन 1948. अभी हर्बर्ट साइमन के बारे में बात करते हैं. हर्बर्ट साइमन वॉज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्रिटिक ऑफ द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एंड डिस्क्राइब देम एज प्रोवर्ब्स, कि वो सिर्फ प्रोवर्ब्स है, बड़ी बड़ी बातें टाइप. He advocated that the behavioral approach to the public administration he advocated the behavioral approach to public administration to make it more scientific discipline. Okay, here he focused upon decision making as the alternative to the principles approach. To quote Simon, if any theory is involved, it is the decision making that is at the heart of administration, and that the vocabulary of administrative theory must be derived from the logical and psychological aspects of human choice. So he respected human choice more than the organizational structure. Simon rejected the idea of politics administration dichotomy and recommended an empirical approach to study the public administration. Thus, as Mohit Bhattacharya has also put it, that he brought in the perspective of study of logical positivism in the study of policy making and the relation of means and ends, and उसमें human choice also, reflecting the perspectives and methodology of behavioralism in psychology and social psychology, which he had taken help of in developing his theory. Administrative behavior, उसका जो बुक था, it pleaded for the raising of scientific vigor in public administration with help of humanistic analysis. Then Robert Dahl had argued that the evolution of science of public administration or developmental or universal principles of administration was hindered by 3 problems. ठीक है. So Robert Dahl had argued that the evolution of science of public administration or development of universal principles of administration was hindered by 3 problems. The frequent impossibility of excluding normative considerations from the problems of public administration. The study of public administration must be founded on some clarification of ends. The next is the need to study certain aspects of human behavior limits the potentialities of science of public administration. He criticized the existing tendency to treat the organization in formal technical terms and to regard human beings that constitute the organization as more or less only material people. Then third is the unscientific nature of principles of administration, which are based on a few examples drawn from limited national and historical settings, cannot be applied to any organizational structure without tailor making them. So Robert Dahl had observed we are long away from a science of public administration. No science of public administration is possible unless the piece of normative part of values is made clear. The nature of man is in the area of public administration as an important decision maker and has a human choice. The conduct of human is more or less predictable and should be analyzed. There is a body of comparative studies from which it may be possible to discover the principles and generalities that transcend the national boundaries and any peculiar historical experiences also, which can be analyzed and studied in order to understand the human side of the decision making in the organizational structure of public administration. Robert Dahl also emphasized on the environmental effects of administrative behavior. He believed that the public administration cannot escape the effects of national psychology, also social, political, and cultural environment in which it develops. Hence, he suggested that a cross-cultural studies, that is, the comparative studies, shall be encouraged. In his words, the comparative aspects of public administration have largely been ignored, and as long as the study of public administration is not comparative, the claims for it being a science of public administration sound rather hollow. Conceivably, there might be a science of American public administration and a science of British public administration and a science of French public administration, but can there be a science of public administration itself? Is the sense of in the sense of a body of generalized principles independent of their peculiar national settings? That is the question which needs to be understood. That is why there is more need of research. The study of public administration is inevitably the most difficult if it is not comparatively done. Thus, the study of public administration should become much more broad-based, including historical, sociological, economic, and other conditioning factors also. So next we are going to talk about stage 4, that is the crisis of identity stage. It was from 1948 to 1970. It is also considered as interdisciplinary studies stage. With the rejection of politics administration dichotomy and the principles of administration stage, the पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन सफ़र्ड फ्रॉम द क्राइसिस ऑफ आइडेंटिटी, बिकॉज इसके पहले के 2 स्टेजेस में इतना सारा डिस्क्रिपेंसी आया था, अलग अलग व्यूज़ थे, इसके लिए क्राइसिस ऑफ आइडेंटिटी आ गया था. कॉन्सिक्वेंटली द स्कॉलर्स ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन रिएक्टेड इन 2 वेज. एक तो था कि सम ऑफ देम रिटर्न टू द फोल्ड ऑफ पब्लिक पॉलिटिकल साइंस which is the mother science of public administration. However, they were not encouraged by political scientists, but they considered कि अभी ये public administration को यूँ ही बाहर निकाला, उसको एक्चुअली पॉलिटिकल साइंस के अंडर ही रखना चाहिए था. अभी इसमें जॉन गॉस in his article entitled The Trends in the Theory of Public Administration in 1950 developed a thesis that a theory of public administration means in our time a theory of politics also. तो उस हिसाब से he took it back to political science only. Further, Roscoe Martin in his 1952 article called for continued dominion of political science over public administration. अभी दूसरा पार्ट क्या था इसमें कि कुछ लोग as I said went to political science and कुछ लोग the second part was like some others moved towards the administrative science. They argued that the administration is the administration irrespective of its setting. They founded the Journal of Administrative Science quarterly in 1956. The major works influenced by this perspective are Organizations in 1958 by March and Simon, then Behavioral Theory of the Firm in 1963 by Siret and March, then Handbook of Organizations in 1965 by March and Organizations in Action in 1967 by J.D. Thompson. मतलब एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव साइंस है एंड इसको साइंस की तरह डेवलप किया जाए हर जगह पे हर टाइप के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए, ऐसा इनका मानना था. However, in both the cases, that is either towards political science or either towards administrative science, the public administration lost its separate identity and distinctiveness, and it had to merge with the larger field. This is why this stage in the evolution of public administration is called as the stage of crisis of identity. Okay. Various development took during this phase of evolution of public administration. They are the rise of new human relations approach advocated by Chris Argyris, Douglas McGregor, Rennes Likert, Warren Bennis and others. Then growth of comparative public administration. Then advocacy of ecological approach to the study of public administration by F.W. Riggs. Then conceptualization of development administration by Edward Widener, F.W. Riggs and others. Then crystallization of concept of administrative development by F.W. Riggs. Then emergence of new public administration. Then advocacy of public choice approach by Vincent Ostrom and others. Then rise of critical perspective of public administration. Okay, so this was stage 4. Now we are going to talk about stage 5, that is from 1971 to 1980. It is related to new public administration. Okay, so the scholars gathered at the Minobrook conference under the patronage of Dwight Waldo and critically reviewed the relevance of study and practice of public administration in terms of rapidly changing environment posing challenges, problems before the government. Okay, the 2 volumes एक तो था फ्रैंक मरीनी का टूवर्ड्स अ न्यू पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन and in that was in 1971, and Dwight Waldo का Public Administration in Time of Turbulence in 1971. ये 2 वॉल्यूम ने they gave rise to the concept of new public administration. हाँ, okay. The whole campaign of the younger scholars of public administration meeting in the Minobrook conference centered on the highlighting of the lacunae in the traditional public administration. They considered it as too formalistic and excessively oriented towards theoretical political science and excessively oriented, obsessed towards instrumental values of economy and efficiency, and visibly insensitive to the democratic ideas of humanitarian approach that should guide the public life. The scholars of new public administration highlighted the focus and philosophy of the public administration that should be based on the premises of normative theory, social concern, activism, humanism, participation, and other related ideas and ideals. It stressed on the social relevance of knowledge, of humanistic behavior. Also, the normative conclusions maintains the new public administration as an inevitable as well as necessary field under public administration. It disagrees with the approach of behavioralist and condemns the notion of value-free social science. Okay, it sounded like the death knell of already disturbed politics administration dichotomy. Not only does it accept the administrator to make policies, but it also holds that the administration should make policies. Okay, this approach gives higher emphasis on the importance of administration in policy building. अभी न्यू पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन क्या है, वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी इट इन डिटेल. ये पार्ट में which I spoke right now was not related particularly to in-depth understanding of new public administration. New public administration का अलग सा chapter है. If you go into that, you will understand the entire concept of new public administration. This was just why there was a need of new public administration because of जो Minobrook conference हुआ and Dwight Waldo के theory and papers के वजह से there was a need of concept of new public administration. इतना ही ये phase में से आया था क्योंकि ये सिर्फ 10 साल का phase था. नेक्स्ट इज़ पीरियड 1980s ऑनवर्ड्स, पैराडाइम शिफ्ट्स जो हुए थे उसके बारे में देखो. द पब्लिकेशन ऑफ री इन्वेंटिंग गवर्नमेंट इन 1992 इज़ अ वाटरशेड इन द ग्रोथ ऑफ कंटेम्प्रेरी पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इन द सेंस दैट इट हैज़ sought to redefine the functions of government. The authors argue in the favor of entrepreneurial government that is certain to bring about radical changes by improving public management through performance measurement and evaluation, reducing budgets, downsizing the government, selective privatization of public enterprises, and contracting out in selective areas. Some of the major theoretical concerns in this discipline as it has shaped now in the response to inputs from both developed West and non-Western societies are as follows: that application of public choice theory to public administration seeking to assess the relative importance of both market and the state as contending providers of public good is important, because जब तक पब्लिक चॉइस थियरी नहीं आएगा तब तक मार्केट भी डेवलप नहीं होएगा, ना ही स्टेट के सर्विसेज डेवलप होएंगे. जब पब्लिक चॉइस थियरी का अप्रोच आएगा then there will be competition and there will be development. Then decentralization and democracy important है for underlying participation and empowerment of the people at grassroots. Then the inadequacy of the Weberian notion of rational bureaucracy in the post-colonial states, which is being which was considered as the most efficient type of state till in the colonial period also, but right now in the changing public administration there needs to be new approaches. Then organizational pluralism is important to ensure freedom of individuals in choosing their type of organization and services without interference. As a consequence, suggestions are being offered for load shedding of government, then privatization, decentralization and empowerment, and also encouragement of NGOs in voluntary sector. Organizational pluralism is being articulated in the advocacy of enhanced social capacity and as against governmental capability to handle everything single-handedly. Government through the agency of public administration is being treated as just one type of governance. There are many other organizations which also provide governance, but under the law it is only government. The concept of governance opens up possibilities of government through non-bureaucratic agencies and other formal or informal types of organizations like NGO वगैरह भी अगर आपको कोई सर्विस दे रही है तो it is type of governance provision only, but it all comes under the main governance which is under the law. Then there is concept of performance partnership in the form of different levels of government coming together corresponding to public-private joint venture, and networking of government shall increase through NGOs, private agencies, so that it can develop its reach. Small government in terms of downsizing and at grassroots level decision making is important, along with decentralization and delegation of work. For transparency of governance and open citizen friendly administration via citizen charter etc. are now being advocated. Also the gender issue that has been brought to in front, arguing that the public administration has virtually been male oriented, but now women empowerment shall increase and there shall be equal representation of women in the public administration too, because earlier it was more patriarchal society, but now the society has developed and there shall be equal importance given to each and every gender in the domain of public administration. फिर न्यू पब्लिक मैनेजमेंट का भी कॉन्सेप्ट आया था. न्यू पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इन न्यू पब्लिक मैनेजमेंट, it hinges on the public choice theory and managerialism. It introduces competitive elements of public administration. Robert B. Denhart, in his book The New Public Service, in brackets servicing not steering, has propounded that the concept of new public service is about that it is a primary role of the public servants to help the citizens articulate and meet their shared interest rather than to control or steer the society. In the 21st century, the public administration is advancing on two parallel paths. The first path continues to follow developments in the private business sector and borrows its ideals and initiatives that have been formed as a benchmark for improving the managerial and organizational tools in public systems. The second path follows a line opposed to the business and economical trends and try to preserve and strengthen the social, civilian and human aspects, which are not always tradable one by one and are therefore not usually formulated and accepted in the business management field. Thus, there are two approaches still at various sectors. Therefore, there has not been a clear definition of what public administration is, and the definition of public administration or its importance depends on the type of country, its development, and the type of government, the type of services it provides, the type of level of development in the country, the types of funds, functionaries, etc. Public administration has developed as an basically offshoot of political science or public law. As a subject, it has in fact been everybody's field. Every type of person who is studying anything related to government has to study related to public administration. This has led to what Martin Landau has called a plethora of competing schools, a polyglot of languages, and accordingly a confusion of logic in this field. In fact, even almost after 123 years of its origin as a field of study, the landscape of public administration seems to be confused. Despite the uncertainty and turmoil of the preceding years, the subject of public administration is gradually becoming truly interdisciplinary in its nature. It has come closer to policy science and related areas. A separate study of private and public administration tended to merge into a single science of organization whose theories and concepts are to be equally applicable to both private and public administration. Today, the increasing use of systems of various systems approaches, as example behavioral approaches, etc., are encouraged, and also comparative studies of administration is encouraged in diverse social settings and environments. Another development in public administration is brought about by adoption of political economy approach to the analysis of administrative problems. It has again nature of public administration is ever developing. It has to be understood that in any type of question which comes in front of it can become a public administration question. ये जो अभी एरा है समझो 1980 का 1990 का इसके आगे का this in this era it is considered a minimal state or rollback of state is important, but the importance of roles of public administration has not been undermined in this area even as a minimal state concept has emerged. The trends according to Nicholas Henry that are visible in the area of this era are like globalization, redefinition, devolution. मतलब क्या देखो globalization मतलब क्या, the multinationals, corporations, the internet, worldwide environmental issues, free and faster international trade and travel among other developing challenge of the world. There is an increasing trend of political, economical, administrative, social systems coming together. Then there is redefinition also. Increasing the governments are reinventing themselves in terms of power and hierarchy and more in terms of partnership and collaboration. In other words, the role of state is increasingly getting redefined. The traditional state defined in terms of power and hierarchy is increasingly redefined in terms of collaboration, networking, cooperation, association, participation, partnership and alliances. Then there is devolution also. The state's complete control and monopoly over various responsibilities are getting distributed. The jurisdiction of state over goods and services will be shared and with market and civil society organizations. This means there will be a joint exercise over the jurisdiction of goods and services for welfare of people. Because of the various trends like globalization, etc., the future government is blurring, flattening and withering. अभी blurring मतलब क्या, the boundaries will blur eventually. The institutional distinctness between public, non-profit and private sector, and between federal, state and local government is becoming fuzzy because सबका काम सब लोग एक दूसरे का काम कर सकते हैं. That's why the boundaries are blurring. Then there will be flattening. The private corporation are flatter. That is, the number of hierarchy and functions with philosophy of collaboration is the hierarchy, it is flatter, okay, because there is higher collaboration with the colleagues. The government is also getting flattened and spreading, okay, जैसा flat होगा और it will spread more, okay, in various areas. Then withering. Previously state used to enjoy authority over all goods and services. The coercive power was with the state, but in today's world the state will become small and the share of authority over the goods and services of state will reduce, and private organizations will also take a part in it. There will be joint exercise of authority over goods and services. Because there are many participants now, there is market, private, civil society organization, government, voluntary workers, etc. इसके लिए बहुत पहले सिर्फ सब काम स्टेट ही करता था, बट नाउ द स्टेट का काम इज़ डाइवर्सिफाइड. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि स्टेट का इम्पोर्टेंस पूरा कम होगा, बट ऑब्वियसली ऐसा है कि बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्टेट का काम भी कर सकते हैं, एंड इन दिस मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड दैट इज़ हाउ इट इज़ गोइंग टू हैपन. अभी डेवलपमेंट 21st सेंचुरी में पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में अलग अलग तरीके से होती है. देखो, एक है न्यू पॉलिटिक्स एजेंडा बाय मोहित भट्टाचार्य. इन 21st सेंचुरी पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इज गोइंग टू बी concerned with new politics agenda, that is the concern of for environment, gender and ethnic minorities, etc., which are new to the political system, okay. These concerns of public administration will give rise to new areas like green administration, gender administration, ethnic administration, etc. According to new politics agenda, public administration should identify who are benefited and who are losing in the 21st century. The market, the urban, the educated, the skilled, the economically well-off will be benefiting, and the rural, remote, poor, unskilled and unorganized labor, marginalized sections are losing groups. And उस हिसाब से पॉलिसी बनानी चाहिए कि सबको इक्वलिटेबल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होना चाहिए सर्विसेज का. The gap between the rich and the poor, the urban, the rural, the digital divide will widen it, and with time, especially in developing countries, it will cause huge problems in the development of all the sections of the society. In short, the cleavage between the heaves of haves, the concept of haves and have nots के बारे में बात किया गया है, और हैव्स एंड हैव नॉट का कॉन्सेप्ट बढ़ते जाएगा. अगर पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने अगर ये प्रॉब्लम को अच्छे से सॉल्व नहीं किया तो हैव्स एंड हैव नॉट का प्रॉब्लम बढ़ते जाएगा. एंड इन टाइम टू कम इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एज अ डिसिप्लिन टू डील विद द गवर्नमेंट इन एक्शन which has to deal successfully with increasing gap of this. मतलब जो गवर्नमेंट इन एक्शन है पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, इट इज़ एक्चुअली रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, और अगर ये सॉल्व नहीं हुआ तो इवेंचुअली गवर्नमेंट पे ही प्रॉब्लम आएगा कि ये गैप को भरना तो पड़ेगा. इसके लिए पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन हैज़ टू बी मोर कोलैबोरेटिव and faster to understand the concepts, the problems, and try to solve them, so that the public administration can give continuity and stability to equal development of the country as well as development of the government, okay. Then उसके बाद एक post modernism का concept है, that the new framework like post modernism has greater emphasis on the quality rather than quantity. Previously, the states were concerned with the basic needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. Now, the states have focused on not just providing food but nutritional food, not just providing clothing but good clothing, not just transportation but better transportation, not just healthcare but efficient healthcare system. The vision should not be short-sighted and parochial. The vision should be greater so that everyone should get the most quality level services. The administration should work towards enabling the empowerment of poor, marginalized sections of society. Public administration in their academic endeavors should deal with the scenarios and bring about better, prosperous life to life concepts Okay, in even in academic forms, in academic forms also, there should be not, public administration should not be stagnant. It should include all the developing new concepts and try to find a solution to it by using case study method or any other approach. Public administration should stress on the dynamic nature of the environment and developing environment. The focus should developing environment of the country. The focus should be on human resource development and management. There should also be comparative analysis of different countries, how they are studying the public administration, how they are developing the public administration, and also how they are acting in terms of public administration. The public administration should work to uplift the deprived and exploited groups. Okay, in essence of this, the public administration should be a tool or a means to achieve good life for all. It is the responsibility of public administration to ensure well-being of all, the weaker as well as the marginalized, and the study as well as the practical application of public administration shall be fast enough to cope up with the different challenges and changes, and shall be more efficient to adapt with it and try to find efficient solution for the equitable development of all sections of the society in this 21st century. फिर एक छोटा सा हल्का सा कॉन्सेप्ट रह गया था कि हाउ द एवोल्यूशन ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन हैपेंड इन यूएसए. देखो, द टर्म पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन केम इन अबाउट 17th century बाय इन कंटेम बाय इट वाज गिवन बाय वॉशिंगटन एंड हैमिल्टन. फिर सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट था, फिर वो तो सिर्फ टर्म था, उस पर कोई सब्जेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. फिर सब्जेक्ट कहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ? वुडरो विल्सन से स्टार्ट हुआ. फिर वुडरो विल्सन ने उस सब्जेक्ट का स्टार्ट किया. फिर फ्रैंक गुडनो ने क्या किया, उसको अमेरिका के हिसाब से डेवलप किया. ठीक है, तो वहाँ पे उसके 1906 में बना न्यूयॉर्क ब्यूरो ऑफ म्यूनिसिपल रिसर्च. ओके, सो द क्रिएशन ऑफ दिस ब्यूरो ऑफ म्यूनिसिपल रिसर्च इज कंसिडर्ड एज द बिगिनिंग ऑफ प्रोफेशन and the science of administration in an organizational manner. फिर वहाँ पे नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बना. फिर बाद में बना अमेरिकन सोसाइटी फॉर पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. फिर उनका क्वार्टरली जर्नल पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन रिव्यू बना. फिर सेकेंड हूवर कमीशन बना फॉर फेडरल पर्सनल ट्रेनिंग. फिर नेशनल एसोसिएशन ऑफ स्कूल ऑफ पब्लिक अफेयर्स बना. ठीक है, फिर अलग अलग स्कॉलर्स आए, हर्बर्ट साइमन एक्सेट्रा वगैरह. फिर वो लोग अलग का अलग अलग थियरी. फिर एवोल्यूशन के अलग अलग स्टेजेस हुए हैं मोस्टली अमेरिका में. अभी हम लोग एवोल्यूशन इन अमेरिका के से ये सब्जेक्ट स्टार्ट हुआ था. But now we are going to talk about evolution of public administration in India. The teaching of public administration in India began on very modest scale with the introduction of diploma courses in public administration operated by Department of Politics and Public Administration in University of Madras in 1937. The credit for initiation of public administration in India goes to political theorist the late Dr. Eddie Asirvatham, the then head of the Department of Politics and Public Administration in University of Madras. In 1938, the University of Allahabad also launched a diploma course in the local self-government. Then University of Nagpur, a professor named MP Sharma started a full-fledged Department of Public Administration and Local Self-Government. Okay, so this was the first postgraduate degree on course of public administration in India. Then now there are several hundred colleges of public administration which allow the subject of public administration to be studied in various levels like diploma courses, BA, MA, MPhil, and even PhD. Okay, even UPSC has included public administration in its optional subject. About 1988 से start हुआ था वो UPSC का. The two major development that have taken place in 1950s is promoting the growth of public administration through in जो 1950s में हुआ था. एक तो पहला था कि the first was to establishment of Indian Institute of Public Administration in 1954 and the establishment within the Institute of Indian School of Public Administration of various departments there related to public administration. The masters training program etc. वो सब start हुए. ये जो IIP है, इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, पब्लिशेस स्कॉलरली जर्नल कॉल्ड द इंडियन जर्नल ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। तो इस हिसाब से US में फिर हम इंडिया में ऐसा डेवलपमेंट हुआ था। ये सारे स्टेजेस थे डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के, और ये जो 6 स्टेज था, 6 स्टेज एक्चुअली उसका एंड नहीं आया, अभी वो स्टेज बढ़ते ही जा रहा है। तो इस हिसाब से एवोल्यूशन ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इज़ हैपनिंग। ओके।